The Mariners came within 1 out Friday of sweeping the Astros over the weekend. I would imagine Dave Softy Mahler is in a pretty good mood to start the week off. He joins us now. And how you feeling, Softy? Good weekend?
Yeah, I'm in a good mood because I'm on this show, by the way. I cannot think of a better thing to do to kick off the week, to be on the air on a Monday afternoon with you guys, with Ariel, and just makes it even better that she's here, by the way, kicking Egan the heck out of here. So let's make this a Monday tradition, all right? Don't tell Egan I said that, but let's make this a Monday tradition. Yeah, no, I mean, look, man, Paul, all of us wanted the sweep in Houston. They came close to getting the sweep. Andres Munoz, for the most part, outside of that little, hairball he had earlier in the year that we talked about so much on this show, has been pretty good the last couple of months. But you got to get me to the top of the inning, man. You got to get out of there with the tie and give me a shot to win that game. And that home run that he gave up to Christian Walker, that bomb that I think may have just landed, by the way, in Oklahoma, that was a freaking backbreaker, man. That was a absolute killer for this team. Can you imagine waking up this morning and being 2 games back of the Houston Astros, which they probably should have been? Andres Munoz, you should have been able to rely on him to get that save on Friday night. But you know what? You avoided disaster, which would have been 8 games back. You're 4 games back right now. The American League is wide open. The division's wide open. This road that you're on right now continues against Milwaukee and the Cubs. At the same time, the Astros have the Angels and the A's. So this thing could flip on a dime, man. By this time in a week, we could be talking about being tied for first or maybe being 7 or 8 games out of first place. So buckle up, boys and girls, because this season ain't coming close to being over.
Yeah, and a lot of fans have been trying to find some turning points for this team over the last couple of months, whether it's a key home run, a key comeback. How about this series in general? How could the Mariners' performance in this Houston series be the sign that they might actually be on their way back?
Well, they just are talking with some confidence now, right? And look, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that a win in a series over the Astros means the Mariners are World Series favorites. I mean, let's not forget, the Astros aren't very good, right? Just like the Mariners, but the Astros are a little bit better than not very good. They're basically a mediocre baseball team. So this is not a signal to me that the M's can now compete against the top teams in baseball. This is not a signal to me that the M's are rising to the occasion to meet this big challenge in front of them. Let's be honest. Let's not be naive about this. They're not rising to anything. The occasion is lowering itself to them because the league is absolutely terrible. If the playoffs began today, there'd be a sub-500 team in the postseason for the first time ever over the course of a 162-game season. So they just need to tread water here, guys, in these next couple of weeks. I mean, again, this week with the A's and the Angels playing the Astros and the M's playing the Cubs in Milwaukee, the Mariners are playing 2 teams that are 48 games combined over 500, while the Astros are playing 2 teams that are 53 games under 500 combined. So don't kid yourself. This is another huge week for the M's for sure.
Hey, Softy, Adam Jude of the Seattle Times talked to hitting coach Kevin Seitzer, who said this has probably been the most frustrating year of his career. One of the reasons could be a lack of healthy bodies. We've talked about it throughout the season. Jude points out that just 16 times this season, the Mariners had their preferred starting lineup healthy at the same time. So how much does that come into play when you look at this team's struggles?
Well, a little bit, but still doesn't explain being 7 games under, right? I mean, you want to tell me that baseball team is right around 500. They're a game or 2 up, but 7 games under in this division, in this league. Yeah, I'm not going to give them a pass because they've been banged up, because they haven't been able to put their preferred lineup out there, by the way, throughout the year. And honestly, I'm not even sure what the preferred lineup is, for crying out loud. Is it Brendan Donovan at third base? Is it Colt Emerson at shortstop? Is it J.P. Crawford at third? Is it Luke Raley and right? What is their preferred lineup, man? So we're still sitting here in the middle of August, guys, and we're tinkering around, messing around with this lineup. And I don't blame them for doing that, by the way, at all. Cal had the big home run, obviously, yesterday, but since the month of August began, the guy's hitting 211, for crying out loud. We're still waiting for Cal to get the engine going a little bit there. So I think you do give him a little bit of a pass, but not enough to explain and understand and be okay with being 7 games under 500. That's a tragedy. That's an absolute joke in this league and in this division to be 7 games under 500. The baseball gods have blessed you with the worst division in baseball, and you're struggling to even breathe. You're struggling to even put your pants on, for God's sakes, when you wake up in the morning. So, yeah, we can give them a little bit of a pass, Paul, but not much in my book. Not at all.
You talked about your preferred lineup. I think my preferred lineup is having Brock Rodden in there. He made his major league debut Friday to start the series in Houston. Over 3 games, hit 300, drove in 3 runs, had a couple of doubles. I mean, I think there's a lot to like about him, don't you?
Yeah, and my preferred lineup, by the way, is having you instead of Egan on this on this TV show. It's so much more enjoyable to talk to you without Egan trying to interrupt people and get a word in edgewise and remind people how smart he is on these stupid random high school football facts he likes to drop in.
I need a notebook or something.
Exactly. I'll send you that in an email, by the way. You can use that in your next negotiations with the TV station. But no, I mean, you got to love what you see so far out of him, right? I mean, he's a gamer. He's gritty. There's no question about that. He's wearing the number 90. I'm not sure how long that's going to last, by the way. That seems like a spring training number for a guy that's got no shot of making the baseball team. So at some point, you might want to check on that. All the shots of his family, by the way, his brothers and sisters, his mom and dad in the crowd. I mean, he's given them a little bit of energy, right, guys? And that's what this team has been lacking. That's what we talked about at the top here, Paul. We asked about the series and how important it was. And look, I don't care who they beat. I don't care if they beat the Astros, the Angels, or the Bad News Bears, or the Harlem Globetrotters. This team just needs some stinking confidence, and they got a little bit of it over the weekend, and Brock Rodden was a reason for it.
Hey, how about a little off-the-field stuff? Rodden got called up to take Colt Emerson's spot on the roster after the Mariners put Colt on the 10-day injured list. And then he was originally going to be sent down to Tacoma, but he requested the team take a closer look at a wrist injury he's been dealing with. And team president Jerry DiPoto was quoted as saying, "I wish he would have been a little more upfront if it was bothering him that much." Do you have a problem with Jerry saying that?
Yeah, a little bit. It's not a great look. I agree with what Mike Varell said on Twitter over the weekend, that it's not a great look when your president of baseball operations has no idea that your star shortstop, who you just signed to a massive 10-year deal, is dealing with an injury, right? I wouldn't put it all on Jerry, and I would put the majority of the blame and responsibility on Colt Emerson. I mean, Paul, you're an ex-big-time college athlete. You know what it's like when you're banged up and you're afraid you're going to lose your job to somebody else. You want to suck it up. You want to play through it, right? You don't want to admit to the coach that you're hurt. And I can understand why in Colt's position as a young guy, he would do as much as he could to stay on the field, hide the injury, and not tell anybody. But, Paul, they've got like 50 trainers over there. They got people running all over the place, including baseball people, medical people, scouts, spies, the whole thing, AI, hidden cameras, probably blah, 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 all over the place. And nobody was able to figure it out. Not one person was able to figure out that Colt Emerson was dealing with a wrist injury. So it's not a great look for the team at all. I'm not sure if I really like the president of baseball operations throwing Colt Emerson under the bus like that a little bit. But if there's one thing it does say about Colt, let's keep in mind that we are not going to be sitting here likely at all throughout his career wondering if this guy is able to play hurt, because he's been doing it for the last couple of months. So he definitely is a gamer in that regard for sure.
The part I did like about it, though, as a reporter, I love how forthright Jerry DiPoto always is.
Yeah.
You never really have to guess what's on his mind. You just ask him and he tells you, and that is a rarity for someone in the front office like that.
Nah, there's no doubt. I mean, again, I just think that it's just another check mark in the wrong column for this year, for this baseball team. And there's all kinds of nonsense going on with the piggyback and the 6-man rotation and blah, blah, blah. And now you got this stuff with Colt Emerson and his wrist. So, guys, if they don't make the playoffs this year, at the end of the year, we're going to have a conversation about the way they do things over there, right? We're going to have a conversation about the protocol and the way that they get to certain decisions that they come up with. Nobody is questioning the Seahawks, for example, in that regard whatsoever. But if this team misses the playoffs this year, I think all those conversations are going to be on the table.
I mean, you kind of just set it exactly up right there. A report in the USA Today says that if the Mariners don't make the playoffs, Dan Wilson will be fired. Would that be warranted? And also, say hi to your puppy for me.
Yeah, that's DJ. I was wondering if you guys could see DJ behind me, by the way. He's a big fan of the show. He always wants to know when I'm going on so he can appear on the show. He knows that way more than my radio show. This will be the most attention that I'll get the entire week. So he desperately wants to be on camera so we can all say hello. But, yeah, I mean, is it warranted? Of course it's warranted. Absolutely. I mean, look, we can all talk about whether it's fair or unfair, but what's fair? This is Major League Baseball. This is professional sports. The word fair gets tossed out the window, right? You're not going to fire 26 guys or trade 26 guys. The most likely move for a baseball team that underachieves every year is to fire the manager, and then after that, the GM, and then after that, the president of baseball operations, and then you force the owner to sell. How you do that, I have no idea, because if that was possible, we would have done this 30 years ago with this group, for crying out loud. But it's absolutely warranted with Dan Wilson. And I don't think it's all his fault, Ariel, at all. There's a lot of other things in play here. A lot of veterans that aren't playing to the back of their baseball card. Injuries we talked about are certainly a factor, but the way that he's handled the bullpen, the way this team has not been able to really form any leadership, at least from a public-facing perspective, nobody has been comfortable to step up and really address this baseball team, because all your leaders, let's face it, the guys that you want to hear from, they've all stunk the entire year. That thing with Cal Raleigh that we had a week ago was great, but that should not be a novelty. Hearing from Cal Raleigh should not be unique, and I feel like we hadn't heard from the guy in months up until a week ago. So it's absolutely warranted, but I tell you what, if they make that move and they whack Service and then they whack Wilson and they hire a brand new manager, the pressure is squarely going to be on Jerry DiPoto heading in the next year, and it should be.
Yeah, great point there.